Hey everyone, thanks for stopping by. This is Beatrice and I will be showing you a layout using the September club kit for Kiwi Lane, and the title is Fall Drive. So I'm going to start off with this yellow paper, and I'm cutting down half an inch on two sides so that it gives me about a quarter of an inch frame around, or rather quarter of an inch shorter than this blue paper, which I am in the process of gutting. And I'm giving myself a frame of about an inch all the way around so that I can preserve this paper, because I absolutely loved this paper and I was a little sad that they only included one sheet of this particular paper. So I am gutting it because I want to be able to use the middle portion of it in my layout. So this video is part of a collaboration with other Kiwi Lane creators. So if you look down below in my description, you will see links to the other collaborators, and I suggest you stop by and check them out because they are amazing. And there is a prize, and I'm not sure who is the person that is who is hosting, or rather not hosting, that's not the right word, but is giving the prize out. So you'd have to go check out all the videos. I'm using some score tape to make sure that my yellow paper does not come off of my layout. It's nice and strong, double-sided tape, and it really makes it easier to send to your page because you can peel off the strip once you know where you're putting the paper, as opposed to trying to get it nice and straight when you already have the adhesive down. I was trying to use these two strips. I don't end up using them, so I'm looking through the cards to see what I want to use on this layout. I definitely have an idea in my head of what I want to do. I'm just trying to figure out if I can use any of the cards. Definitely using, again, that blue and white polka dot paper. And I will be using the pocket that comes in the kit. And I'm going to cut out 3 different pockets, and I am going to stitch on all 3 of them. So basically what I'm doing is I'm marking one little line, and unfortunately you can't really see it here. I'm just doing a line right in the middle of each of those little stitch marks so that I can have a decent idea of where I'm going to stitch, right? So everything could be nice and even. So what I end up doing is, on this one, is a chain link stitch, I believe that's what it's called. And as you can see, there's the lines. That was a little quick, I apologize. But all I did was one line right in the middle of that little box. I pull out the white, and I feel like the white's not gonna really show since it has white polka dots. So I end up going through my stash, and you'll see shortly that I will use a yellow one. I'm going to cut out a fence, and I'm actually going to go right across this sheet and basically line everything up and then do right across the 12 inches. I don't end up using all 12 inches. I probably use about 11 and a half inches, I'd say, maybe 10 inches of this little picket fence. And I love being able to use these stencils and make them more versatile. It obviously is not a 12-inch template, but you can definitely piece it together to make it as big or as small as you want. I'm not going to bore you and make you watch the entire process of me cutting this fence out, so I will be cutting out a portion of this video and fast forwarding a bit. So here it is cut out. I am going to ink my edges with some Distress Oxide and Hickory Smoke. And I like that the gray Distress Oxide is a little bit on the chalky side, and it's not very dark. So it definitely gives you more of a modern feel as opposed to using the browns. I do sometimes use the browns if my paper is, the papers I'm using are more of a yellow toned, but because this paper has a lot of white in it, I feel that the gray is a better combination. Unfortunately, I don't cut out this part. I should have cut out this part, but I didn't. Okay, so now we're going to, I'm going to cut out a few more pockets, and I'm trying to figure out what I want to use. I do not use any of these options. And I think I end up using that one right there. And I think I cut the third one out of a one of the 12 by 12 papers. I also do not show the process of me stitching because in other videos I have showed my stitching on paper, and really if you'd like to see how I stitch on paper, I will leave a link right above in my iCards right around here, so that you can always go back to that video if you want more information on how to stitch on paper. It is the same as stitching on fabric, not much of a difference. And again, I just do one line, and I think you can see it better here. And basically I pop my holes in between the lines so that it's even. And my third pocket will be on this paper. And I kind of wanted to have like my fence in front of the pockets, kind of like if it was holding them back. I don't know. It came to me, and this was the idea that I wanted to use. And I wanted to use what was in the kit, because if you don't have any other stencils, then, you know, this is a great way of just using what you have. And in this kit, this is what comes in it. So I wanted to make sure that I highlighted that. Not everyone has the full kit and caboodle. So, you know, you might be just starting out, and this is a great way to just use what you have. I do end up using the tags. I think it's tags accessory, it's number 3652, to cut out some of my tags, but you can actually cut those out by hand. You really don't need to use a template. So you'll see me use a template, but you don't need that. You can definitely make some really cute layouts using these pockets. I really love them. I thought it was a great idea to do something a little different. And I mean, you can, the sky's the limit with the pockets and even the picket fence. So I am backing this up with 3M foam tape, and I usually use Fun Foam, but for this layout I found this roll. It was hiding in the back of my drawer, and I'm like, oh, you got to use what you have. So I've had it for a while, and before it dries up and you know, I end up having to throw it out, I figured I'd use that. So this is what my layout is going to look like. And really, it's a very simple page. You could definitely use more pictures, and that's why you'll see in my tags, you could definitely cut pictures out of the tags. So these are the tags that come in the tags, but some of them are a little on the larger side, but because those are the ones that are on sale this month, I wanted to make sure that I spotlighted those. So I'm just going to cut around, and again, like I said, this you could have definitely done without a tag, or rather without a template. So I hope that my layout gives you a little inspiration, and that you create something. And if you do create something using my idea, please tag me in it. I love seeing other people get inspiration from what I create. It definitely makes my day. So I'm inking all the edges again, and I will be popping a hole where these, where the tags are, not the tags, the little rivets are, in a little bit with my crocodile, and then I do end up using my We Are Memory Keepers reinforcement punch to create reinforcement little thingies for the tags. I'm going to use this small little flower that came in the in this kit, and I'm going to create three sunflowers using different variations of the yellows. And I really love how it comes out. At first I only do 2 and I put them into the blue pocket in the middle, but then I end up, after I was done with my page, I decided to add a 3rd one. Now I don't remember if I actually recorded that portion, so we will see when we get there. Because it was kind of like an afterthought. I felt like there was still something missing there next to my picture, which you can see is just a fall picture. And it was taken a couple years ago. I was on my way to care for my friend who was ill, and she needed a lot of support. And it was just such a beautiful fall day. So I snapped a picture from the car, and it actually is a beautiful picture of a local park. And I hadn't scrapbooked it yet, so I wanted to get it on a page. So as I cut this out, I just want to say thanks for watching. If you do not have a Kiwi Lane representative that you have in your area, you can always check my links below, and you can order through my page. I am not a pushy person, so unless you have questions or you have any specific requests, I am not bombarding you with emails. That's just not the way I operate. I'm a horrible salesperson, so if you want a salesperson, then I'm probably not your guy or gal. But if you're interested in the product, I can definitely help you with that. So here's where I'm punching out my reinforcement holes and punching out the hole. And at first I was going to use that white side of that card that you see there on my table, and then I flip it over because I didn't like how the blue on the top looked. So I flipped it over, and instead I'm using the yellow side, which was what I intentionally cut out. But then I was like, oh, that's perfect for journaling. But yeah, no. And I'm also cutting these. I wanted to use a little the blue side, and I also do use those little circle thingies, which I end up using a punch. I do use a 1-inch punch, I believe, a scalloped punch by Martha Stewart. Not scalloped, it's like a pinked, yeah, I think that's what that's called, a pinked circle. I apologize for all the noise. I don't know what's going on today. There's a lot of helicopters flying overhead. Wow, that was really close. We don't live... That has to be some sort of military flyover. We're near the coast, so sometimes we're near one of the Air Force bases. Not very far, but not exactly down the street. And sometimes when they're doing their practice runs, they do fly very close, like literally down like over our street. I don't know what it is with our street, but it's kind of freaky. So I'm cutting these out, as you can see, and I'm just going to use the tiny tags because I like those straight corners. And I couldn't find my large one that had those corners, so it still works. And I'm using the yellow little reinforcer for this one. So you have an idea of what my page is starting to look like. It's really not too complicated. And I really love the way it turned out. I'm very happy with It wasn't very complicated. Yes, it was a labor of love. It took me quite a few hours to stitch everything and cut everything out. So I'm not going to tell you that I made this layout in an hour, because I would be lying to you. It probably took me somewhere around 3 to 4 hours to create. And I'm okay with that. You know, this is my art. This is my way of my personal release, my time, my what's the word I'm looking for? This is me time. This is where it's all about me, and everyone knows that when I'm down here, leave me alone. So I don't care that it takes me 3, 4, 8 hours to do one layout, because at the end of the day, this piece of artwork is, you know, I had an idea and I executed it. For me, it's more than just slapping pictures on a page. I do sometimes slap pictures on a page, but usually they're not video worthy, so I don't normally record videos on those. But if you want to see me slap pictures on a page, let me know, and I will definitely, you know, let me know in the comments. I can definitely record some of those videos as well. So here I'm starting to glue everything down, and I am just using a 1/4 inch double-sided tape. Excuse me. I have a little tickle in my throat today. Just to create a pocket. So I'm just doing it on the bottom and the two, you know, the left and right side. The top side I am not sticking down, because that's going to be my pocket. And this is basically what it's going to look like. And I do end up using a little ribbon, or rather not ribbon, that white embroidery floss that you saw me use earlier, that I pulled out earlier. And I'm popping up the bottom portion of my picture so it can be flat with the fence. And now I'm just going to adhere everything down. I also used my Heartfelt Creations Deluxe Flower shaping kit, which really you don't need that either. If you have like a stylus or anything like that, you can definitely fold and crease your flowers with that. But I've had this in my stash for probably 5 or 6 years, and I'm all about using what you have, you know. So yeah, so I'm going to use that Shine, Let What Is Beautiful Inside of You Grow. And I'm actually going to cut that little card out a little bit more, because it's kind of on the large side. And I'm cutting something out now, and I don't end up using it. So that'll go on another layout at another time. That little black card. I felt like it was a little too dark, and there was nothing else in that black family on my page. So I didn't feel like it was working. So that is actually the spot where I end up cutting my third flower. And I apologize. My doggy likes to bark at everything. So I had to pause the video for the voiceover for a second so I can show her the water bottle. And usually that stops her. I have a spray bottle. And that's the way we have gotten her a little better, but she literally barks at everyone, everything. And we have a park that's about 5 houses away and a lot of kids, so it could drive you crazy. So I'm getting very close to the end of this video. I don't think I end up showing you the finishing touches on video. But if you stay to the end, you will see close-ups of my layout, and you'll see that I'll add a title which says Fall Drive. I also use some little enamel dots and some jewels and some ink splatters, and I will pop on that third flower. I really appreciate you stopping by. Thanks for watching, and I hope you have a wonderful day.